Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Star Fox Adventures. Last time, we helped out the Queen and the Earthwalkers, and she told us to come back here to the Snowhorn Waste because the Gatekeeper of this area is located here. She also gave us this gate key, which conveniently enough works on this lock to open up the gate right in front of us. How convenient. But before we head into that gate, I actually want to head over here. There's this crack in the wall that if we use Tricky's find command with, he'll dig us a little secret passage. Nothing very required, it just has a little bit of some goodies behind it, so I just figured, let's go ahead and do this before going through that gate. Actually gives us a little sneak peek at what's behind the gate. We have a fuel cell, we have a bath and dad, and if we look through this gating here, we see a woolly mammoth trapped underneath some ice. That just doesn't look that good. But that's the guy that we need to come here to see, because he'll be able to help us out. He'll be able to tell us everything we need to know about this upcoming area, actually. So, I think we should head into this area and see what we can do to help this guy out of the ice. So, let's go ahead and talk to him.
Hurry, boy! The Sharp Claw have imprisoned me in this infernal cave. If you can bring me frostweeds, I'll be strong enough to get myself out. Perhaps the young prince can help you. Hurry, boy!
Alright, so we have some Shark Claw we can fight, but we don't really want to be fighting all these guys. I'm just going to fight this one to get him out of my way. There we go. And let's go ahead and get Tricky's find command on our Y button. Because we want to go ahead and whack this tree. Now release some frostweeds. And what we want to do when there's a frostweed out in the field like this, we want to go ahead and use Tricky's find command, and he will go after the nearest frostweed. And he'll actually go ahead and bring it right back to our mammoth friend, so that's really, really helpful. And because of this, you want to go ahead and use Tricky's find command whenever you can. It's that useful. Tricky, we got some frostweeds down here. And the only problem with using Tricky here for having these frostweeds delivered is because of the fact that he sometimes just kind of forgets to do it, or he just gets sidetracked with some of the Shark Claw like this. You can potentially bring some frostweeds back. That's how I did it my first time. I just pushed them with Fox, but I recommend using Tricky instead because it's just so much easier and you don't have to deal with the Shark Claw because of it. You just have Tricky do all the work and you'll be good to go. But this should be the last of it, and I'm missing all my shots. Why, Fox? Why? Tricky, did you? No? What the heck? Seriously, Tricky. My only complaint about this strategy is just sometimes Tricky just doesn't do his job. Thought for sure he delivered the last of the frostweeds, but nope.
Ah, the young prince! Who is this with you?
This is my friend Fox McCloud. My mother sent us to find you.
Well, I am Garunda Tay, Spellstone Gatekeeper of Dark Eye's Mine.
We're looking for a spellstone.
A spellstone? It is my duty as a gatekeeper to guard the land from which a spellstone is forged. General Scales took the spellstone and discovered that I was a gatekeeper. He gave me an ultimatum. Allow him to take the spellstone back into the sacred land, or he would destroy my tribe. I could not risk the safety of the entire planet, so I refused to help. My daughter did not think this way, and so to save the tribe, she opened the gateway herself. Scales did not destroy my tribe. He enslaved them instead. My daughter dishonored me. You must search for the spellstone within Dark Ice Mines and return it to the Volcano Force Point Temple. Only then will the spellstone's power be returned. I will open the gateway.
now Slippy is telling us to go ahead and check out our map.
Hope that helps you, Fox.
Because if we look at it, it tells us we need to go back to Thorntail Hollow. That is because now that the gateway is opened up to our first major area of the game, we need to actually head back to the R-Wing, because we need to actually fly up there ourselves. As you remember in the beginning, that mission briefing we got was telling us that Dinosaur Planet has broken apart, and the 4 areas that are broken apart, all of them have a spellstone. We need to go to all 4 of them, and we just now have access to fly to the first one. Now you would think, why can't we just fly to these naturally? Well, the thing is, we need the Gatekeeper to open the path, otherwise we just can't get there. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'm just gonna go ahead with the old video game logic trope and just move on. Because seriously, there's no other explanation why we can't just fly there, besides, you know, if we could, then what's the point of doing all this stuff here in the main part of Dinosaur Planet? We could just fly straight to where we need to go. But there is more to it than just that. There it is. I was looking for the stake, man. I was getting myself confused there for some reason. And let's go ahead and put the Fire Blast back on Y, because that's probably the most useful thing to have on the button. Throughout the whole entire game, I'll probably just have this ability on the Y button for the most part. Because the Fire Blaster might be one of your earliest techniques, but you're always going to be using it for something. There's something around the corner you can use your Fire Blast ability for. Whether it be to hit a switch or just to attack enemies, you just seem to always be using the Fire Blaster. But now that we have access to the first main area of the game that we can fly to, we have a lot opened up to us. And by that I mean more of plot. There's not a lot of side stuff in the game. It's mostly all revolved around plot. All the stuff that you have to do for the story. But I have a bigger wallet now. I can hold up to 50 scarabs, which I have the max of now. So I actually want to head back over to the store and I want to buy a bunch, and I mean a bunch of maps. Oh, and until you clear that first area, get the first spellstone, you'll have all these Sharp Claw around Thorntail Hollow. I'm not exactly sure why they're still hanging around. They should have left by now, but, you know, they decided to hang around and, well, I can't stop them. I can just beat them up for it. But there's a bunch of stuff I want to go ahead and buy in here. A lot of them being maps, but a lot of it also being little things like this. This is the high-def display device, which pretty much is a zoom function to your first-person view. So let's see if I can gamble with this. Let's go down to 16.
No, that's too low.
Yeah, you know, I figured that'd be too low, buddy.
Okay, I'll sell
But
it to
18 you'll sell it for. Just 2 scarabs different. 2 scarabs. I hate haggling with this guy if you can't tell. But this is Fox's high-def display device. Yes, this is Fox's device. Slippy dropped, but the shopkeeper got to it first. Yeah, this guy's greedy. If he finds something, he'll sell it for an insane amount of money. But you can go ahead now into your first person, and you can zoom in. We won't be using this all that much, but it will be useful later in the game, so I wanted to get that. And this is also Tricky's ball. This is actually very, very pointless, but I have to get it for 100% sake.
No, that's too low.
So, just show off everything I kind of need it.
No, that's too
Oh,
low.
come on, how about 14 scarabs?
Yeah, I don't need business from cheapskates. Get out.
Watch, I haggle with him now and he'll sell it for me under 15. Just watch.
You pay this much. No, that's too low.
Well, let's try 14.
No, that's too low.
Oh, you stingy old hag.
Okay, I'll sell it to you.
Nobody even knows your gender, so I don't even feel bad for calling you a hag if you're not a hag. Oh, here we go. We have Tricky's ball. I will be showing this off a little bit later in the episode, but it will take me a lot of time to do, because Tricky's ball is basically a very optional item. You just never need this thing, because all you're doing with the ball is basically just playing with Tricky. And after, I think it was 10 throws, after you throw the ball with him 10 times, then he will actually transform in color. So,
How about playing
I will be showing that off a little bit later, but I do need some more scarabs, so I'm gonna cut until I have
How many
enough scarabs.
you wish to gamble?
Alright, I have more scarabs, so I can afford to get more stuff, like this Bathroom Dad holder, for example.
You pay this much.
Now let's see, can I get it for less than 20?
Okay, I'll sell it to you.
I swear, this guy does not know how to hackle properly. I swear, he just does not know when to take money. But this is a Bathroom Dad bag. I don't know why they call it something different in this cutscene, but it can hold up to a maximum of 10 Bathroom Dads, so now we can have a total of 10 so-called fairies, basically, so we can revive ourselves 10 times now. Yeah, I never used this thing either, but a lot of people who play the game get it as an insurance policy, just never end up using it. But that's basically all the items that we can get. The rest of the stuff in here is pretty much maps. This thing right here, we will be able to afford this until pretty much near the end of the game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy all the maps, and I'm actually gonna start in the map room instead, which is over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just montage this all up, and I'll be buying all the maps. So I'll see you guys at the end of all this.
You pay this much. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you. You pay this much. No, that's too low. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
I would have laughed so hard right there if he told me I won't negotiate with cheapskates on the required price of the map. Because that's how good of a haggler I think that guy is. It'd be hilarious to see.
You pay this much. No, that's too low. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
I swear, I'm gonna get sick of hearing that "nope, that's too low" line by the end of all this. Ugh. I hate hearing that line so much anymore.
I've been pushing around these goods. You pay this much. No, that's too low. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
Seriously, now negotiation met. All of them are required prices. Come on, man, just sell me a map for a discount. No one person that shops here, I mean, come on.
You pay this much. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
Whoopee, I bought the map for 4 scarabs instead of 5. Hallelujah! Someone, break out the champagne! I hate this guy so much.
Gives me a headache. You pay this much. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
Woo! First try! Alright, someone bring back that champagne from earlier because we will need it this time. Celebration, ahoy! Seriously, gambling does not work as well as it should. That's a miracle when you get a first try.
You pay this much. No, that's too low. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
See why I was so happy I got that first try in the last map? It only lasts so long until he decides to say, nope, that's too low.
You pay this much. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
Man, I was so half tempted to do 7, but I figured, you know what, this guy's gonna reject it anyways. I can deal with losing 8 instead of 7. He would have rejected 7 anyways, I just know it.
You pay this much. Okay, I'll sell it to you.
I bought a map for 3? Wow! Miracles! They do happen!
200 years I've been pushing around these. You pay this much. No, that's too low. No, that's too low.
Had to get in a nope, that's too low streak before I can buy the final one, huh? You just had to get in a nope, that's too low streak. We could have done without that, buddy. We could have done without it. But with that, this is the final map. We got them all now. So we go ahead and check Pepe's log.
Pepe here.
We got them all.
I'll display
Every
the
single
work.
last map.
Keep going.
So whenever we enter a new area, we won't have to worry about reading the map. And I do want to show one more thing before we leave this place. Down in the map room itself, if you have the booster power for your staff, you can actually go behind here, and there's a place for you to use your staff booster. Go up here, and there are some wooden pots for you to smash. I guess you can maybe say these things are kind of like urns, but not really. I do have some garbs in here. I think they're mainly just green ones. Okay, no, this one's a red one, but it's only worth a few. So that's a little bit helpful, but at the same time, it's not all that worth it. So I usually, when I need garbs, Garbs? What am I in the Glover mindset? No, scarabs. If I need scarabs, I just leave this place and just get them outside. But right here, actually, this is a token well.
Show me 20 scarabs, and I'll give you a cheap token.
So we have 20 scarabs, and we offer it to the well. We get ourselves, like the thing said, a cheek token. There are 8 cheek tokens in the game, and I will be collecting all of them. They don't do too much in the game. In fact, 4 of them are actually pretty much useless. 4 cheat tokens pretty much give you a secret message, and the other 4 unlock cheat codes in the game, which pretty much stays on your memory card. So you actually need to delete your whole entire Star Fox Adventure save file if you want to get them all again. So I have all the cheats already unlocked on my memory card, but at the same time, I really don't care. I still will be able to show which cheat code tokens do what. I'll be able to describe them because I'll have a list open in front of me pretty much saying what does what, and I'll be able to go from there. But I won't be describing that until the end because I don't want to spoil what that stuff is, because like I said, some of them have secret messages and I don't want to spoil those messages. But I want to go ahead and get 7 more scarabs, and I actually want to head back to the Ice Mountain because, like I said, there are 8 of those cheek tokens in the game, and another one is in the Ice Mountain. So while I'm hunting around for more scarabs, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut until I have them, and I'll just meet you back in front of that warp stone. Alright, well I have all the scarabs that I need, so let's go ahead and talk to our friend the warp stone real quick. Now those cheek tokens that we are going to be collecting we can use in the game well maze, but like our first visit with the warp stone, I'm going to mention it one more time. I'm not going to be visiting that maze until pretty much the end of the game, because that's where we turn in the cheat tokens. So, because I just want to go there once and not have to make multiple trips, I'm going to just collect all the cheat tokens at once, and then I'm going to take them all at once into the well and just take care of it there. Man, I'm really tripping on my words. I'm just going to take them all at once into that maze and get it done all at once, just so we save on backtracking. But I want to come back over to the Ice Mountain here, and as you can tell, we bought all the maps, but there is no map data here, because you're only really required to go here once, so I guess I didn't really feel like it was necessary to make map data for this place. But you want to go ahead and use one of your plant spores to blow a hole in the wall over here. And we got our fuel cell over here, and we also have another well.
Show me 20
And you do have to listen to that spiel every single time you want to buy one of these things. You can't just press the A button the second that prompt shows up on the screen. So that's kind of annoying because you pretty much hear the same thing 8 times in a row and it's kind of unnecessary. Kind of like that explosion behind me. Seriously, that was not necessary, buddy. Well, yeah, there we go. We got another cheat token. And as you can tell, Tricky isn't with us. We'll learn more why later Tricky isn't with us here, but basically, it's actually kind of a plot element. And if you come back in this room here where you had the little sled, you can get some more fuel cells, but you can also redo that section. So you can actually get back on the racer and go through that whole entire section that we did earlier. So if you want to do that again, by all means, go ahead, but you're not really required to do it, so I'm only going to be doing that once and I don't feel like doing it again. Well, let's head back to Thorntail Hollow because to end off this video, I don't even know what the length is anymore because of how much cutting and editing I need to do with this one. The one last thing I need to show off in this video is playing ball with Tricky because this actually does something pretty significant. And I'm going to be here for quite a while for this, so I just want to get it done now. Get it over with. So on a good stretch of land, this looks like it's a good place. Let me go ahead and set it to my Y button. So this is Tricky's ball. We can go ahead and play fetch with Tricky. And we're going to be doing this for a while because you don't need to do this for anything. This is just here for a little distraction, but if you do play fetch with Tricky here for long enough, he will actually start changing colors, and he has a multitude of colors, so yeah, we're going to be here for quite a long time doing this. So with each 10 throws, I'm going to go ahead and showcase Tricky's new color outfit. So just like the maps, this is also going to be a montage, so with just little bits of commentary here and there, I'll pretty much just be seeing you at the end of all this. After you play fetch with Tricky a couple times, he'll start changing different colors, and he has a lot of colors that he can change into. And I'm just going to be showing all the colors that I was able to record. Now I'm not exactly sure if I missed any. I know there's a multitude of colors, I just can never remember how many colors Tricky can transform into off the top of my head. I believe it's somewhere in the 20s. He has that many different colors he can transform into. So just to make sure I'm not going to be missing anything, in the video description below, I am going to be linking another video here on YouTube that shows all Tricky's different colors and even describes his colors, names, and all that. The user who made this video is ZannyWitch7, so I put his video in the video description down below. So go ahead and check that out if you want a little bit more information on this. But after about 10 or 12 throws with the ball here with Tricky, he'll change color, and like I said earlier, he has a multitude of different colors. Now, this doesn't really do anything to my knowledge, it's really just a cosmetic thing. From what I read online, people say that different colors means that Tricky will use up different amounts of his energy, meaning that you have to feed him less. If he does like his flying command, he'll use a little bit less energy than he would normally. I haven't really noticed this and I haven't really tested it yet, so I don't really know if it's true. But if it is, then that's really the only use of this. If it's not true, then playing fetch with Tricky is just a cosmetic thing. So, not really something I recommend, especially because of how long it takes. This mashup of footage here, this was about an hour of me playing fetch with Tricky. It took that long to do, so not very worth it in my opinion. And in all honesty, I've only really done this, I think, once in a playthrough. On my last playthroughs of this game, when I rented it, I played with the bluer color Tricky. It was like blue with light blue, I believe, something like that, or blue with purple. I don't exactly remember, but I just played with that Tricky for a while, and I didn't really notice that much of a difference at all, besides his different look. That's why I don't really recommend doing this, but it's a nice little distraction, I would say. But after you played fetch with Tricky enough times, he'll change back into his original color, so in case you didn't like any of the other colors, then, well, here's your original back. So, I think that's enough for one episode. I do apologize for the length of this episode, but there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to cover in one video before we move on. So, next time on Let's Play Star Fox Adventures, we'll make our way to Dark Ice Mines. I'll see you guys next time.